All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Unemployed, to Full-Time Trader. Um, so I have a few things to confess here. Um, so I basically past 2 days have been the past days specifically have been extremely rough on me. I just have been I've been extremely I was extremely emotional for the past 2 days. When it comes to trading, and I completely broke my rules, and because of that, I am now down like 4% on my account. I completely broke my rules. I did record it. It's just like the reason why I don't want to upload it is because I was just very quiet throughout the whole thing. Because I was just like in my head. It, it's just like I made a mistake. I have no excuse for it. I take full self accountability. It was dumb in my part to do what I did. Um, yeah, all we could do is just improve, right? So I think like, and I have said this in the past, right? Or like I've talked to myself about this, where I would say, okay, I'm only gonna take one trade a day, and I think that I would always say that, but I would always break that rule. I would always take 2 trades, 3 trades. But I think after the past 2 days, it confirms my theory, because what I've noticed is, like, okay, let's say I take 2 trades. Let's say my first trade is an L, right, and then I take another trade and it's another L. Now I'm typically like my max risk would be like 1%. Um, so now I'm not only not now I'm not down 1%. Now I'm down 2%, and obviously making 2% is way harder than making 1%. So like it just like things will become a lot easier if I just take one trade, and if I take the L, or I take the W, or if I take the break even, whatever it is, just call it a day and move on to the next. So I want to be able to basically just call it a day on one trade, and that's it. That I think that's really the biggest key, because when I take the L, now I'm emotional. Now I'm taking ridiculous entries. I might even over leverage at times, which is basically what's been happening. I mean, actually, I'm down 5% on the account. Definitely not my proudest moments. You know, the last couple of days, and I kind of like went back to the drawing board and switched a few things. Like, basically, I switched my risk management. Um, well, it's basically like the same thing. It's just like I'm truly gonna force myself to just take one trade. And then as far as my strategy is kind of the same, it's a little bit different. Because I've noticed that, like, I'll be pretty wrong about the direction of the markets, like the past couple of days. So what I'm doing now, it's basically I'm basing it off of like, I'm basing off the direction, not off of trend necessarily. Like, okay, I would still take the trend into account maybe a little bit, but it's not as important. It's more based on liquidity grabs. So like all these red lines that you see here is liquidity, like price grabbing liquidity, right? This is on the 5 minute. So like if you look from, like, I don't know, from like 4 a.m. to here, like there was a bunch of liquidity grab that happened on buy side liquidity, right? This is buy side liquidity, this is sell side liquidity. because like people are selling here and then they're putting their stops, I don't know, above here, or they're buying here and then they're putting their stops like below here, right? So if I look here, like there's more buy side liquidity being grabbed, which what that means usually when price grabs buy side liquidity, it flips up. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna look for buys. That's because I'm expecting price to go up due to us grabbing all this buy side liquidity. And my entries before I would go on retest, and like that makes sense. But what I've noticed is like a lot of times I would either miss the move because I would base it off of a 5-minute retest. I would miss the move, or you know, the retest would happen a little bit too late, or the retest just wouldn't happen at all, which is, you know, it's okay. But what I'm doing now is basically, so I wait for price to open and inverse a gap. Once we inverse the gap, we essentially just get in off of the inverse, if that makes sense. So like for example, price is creating this gap here. If next candle, next 1 minute candle were to come up, break above this gap, I could basically take this trade, put my stops below here, and then, you know, TP, I don't know, somewhere up there. But we just grab more liquidity now on the 5 right here. And then there's another grab here. Look at that, we just grab even more here. And yeah, like I'm just gonna risk 1%. If my stops are super big, so typically I would trade with, so on my 10K account I would trade with 2 lots, which is basically $2 a tick, like every little move. But sometimes, you know, like I was back testing this a bit, and you know, sometimes my stops would be like pretty big, like somewhere like here or something. Instead of me trading with 2 ticks, I could just switch it to 1 lot. So yeah, we just grab all that liquidity now. Right here, these two, and then even here. So yeah, we just need to inverse the gap now. What was cool about this strategy when I was back testing it is that I'm using like kind of like the same concepts of like liquidity grabs and stuff like that. It's just the entries are a little bit different. But before I was like, my trading strategy would be based on market bias, and like I would notice that I would just be like completely wrong about at times, right? Like not every time, but more often than not, I was pretty wrong about like where the drive of the market was, you know, or like where the market was gonna go. So we grab all this liquidity. We're also grabbing liquidity on this left hand side, like over here, as you can see. So basically, if price comes up and inverses this gap, we could hit the buy button. So inverse gap just means like, let's say this or the next candle just comes up and pushes above this and closes above here. That's an inverse gap. If that were to happen, that's pretty ginormous stop loss. So I would have to go with the 1 lot. Because your stops just like they have to be below these lows. It's just what makes sense. Because you can't like put them below here. Yeah, I would go if it this gap actually gets inverse. I will go in with one lot, which is again $1 a tick, and right here I will be risking $90 basically, which is 0.9%. And then maybe I won't like try to go for the 2-to-1 because I'm expecting price to take some of these highs. Like if I were to look left, yeah, I could easily see price coming up to here. But let's see. I mean, there might not be an entry there. We'll see. Remember, all these red lines are just liquidity grabs the price has done. And you can see like buy side liquidity is getting taken out. Like anybody that maybe bought on this candle and put their stops below here got cooked there. There's small orange folder at 10 a.m. today. Not too concerned about that really. I don't really care too much about it. So this is a new 5-minute. And by the way, the whole reasoning behind me taking one trade is because again, I would risk 1% per trade, right? So let's say I take 2 trades and now I lose, those 2 trades. Now I'm down 2%. On the next following day, like this is kind of like where my head goes, which is kind of crazy, but I think it's a good self-reflection. But on the next day, what I would try to do is not only try to make that 2% back, but I would try to basically force it so that I would at least get a percentage in profit. So I would set these like ridiculous TPs that don't even make sense. Then I would either take the L again, or it just wouldn't hit my TP and I would break even or whatever. I'm pretty sure that doing that risk management where I just take one trade is gonna solve all my problems. Pretty sure. Because like you're also like even if you don't think you are, you're also pretty emotional after taking an L. Like I'm talking about myself here, guys, but like your mind plays games with you once you take an L. It's like you start taking dumb positions. You start maybe over leveraging because you want to make the money back. You start setting like ridiculous TPs because you want to not only make your money back but also make some money on top, right? You also are probably gonna start forcing trades to happen rather than like actually just waiting. So yeah, I think just taking that one trade a day is that's gonna be the play. That's gonna be the play. Let's see if price makes this gap here, and we could potentially look for entries. Oh, and here, let me show you guys the account. So this is the 10K account. Look at this, bro. I don't even want to, like, I even I even went to Euro USD, which is not something I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, okay? But I messed up. I messed up. Big time, for sure. Big time. But yeah, still waiting. Dude, yeah, the past couple of days have been, like I said, like it's not even, it hasn't even been like the market's fault for me to lose that amount of money. It's just been my fault. Like if anything, I'll be down. If anything, I should have been at break even point right now. If I would have just taken that one trade a day risk management. And the idea is that, like, okay, if I'm in drawdown, I'm only risking 1%. If I'm in profit, or I'm above break even, I could risk 1.5%. That's like, for that one trade that you take. Like that would be like the max risk. The idea behind that is that, like, you could kind of like snowball effect your wins once you're in profit. Because risking that little extra, it makes you a lot more. Like it makes a huge difference. So, and that's like what I did to pass my 10K account was exactly that. Like that was like my risk management. I would just take one trade a day. Just take one trade a day. Risk my 1% until I'm in profit. Once I'm in profit, I risk my 1.5, and then literally, since my trades were like 2-to-1s, 3-to-1s, I literally completed the challenge in like 3 or 4 trades. Like my phase 1, which is kind of crazy to think about. And now I'm like struggling. Like I would use this, like kind of like I would use this kind of strategy, but instead of me like looking at entries on an inverse gap, I would just enter off of like a retest on the 5-minute. So it's the same idea. It's just the entry is a little bit different. And yeah, I know if I stick to the strategy for a long period of time, I will be profitable. But I just have to, well, not just stick to the strategy, but also like the risk management, everything involved with it. Okay, so this is a new 5 minute. We also grab this now. Hopefully we can make another gap here, but okay, perfect. So yeah, now we're just waiting for this gap to get inversed. We usually just wait until like, I think with this excuse me, with this strategy, since I'm basing off of like 1 minute, I think like leaving at 10:30 is more than good enough, because after 10:30 volume starts dying down quite a bit. If I were to go in here, stops are about 50 ticks. I guess it depends on where the. Then, bro, TPs are gonna be crazy, but probably gonna be up here. Yeah, I think if my stops are bigger than like 70 ticks, I just risk my one lot. Let's see if we could get an entry here. So all these squares are gaps. And again, my entries are based off inversing a gap. So if inversing just means like closing above that gap. Typically what price does from there, it'll that's like basically a confirmation for like a reversal to happen. Typically it's it's a pretty high likelihood that it keeps driving up from there. So we just touched that gap. Looks like we're kind of reacting off of it. Usually, like once price reacts off of the gap and then goes back up to that gap, it typically doesn't react. I mean, it typically doesn't do this. Like it doesn't just come up, and then once it comes up again, it just keeps driving up because it already had that reaction, that initial reaction that the gap wanted. That's typically what happens. I mean, not always, but typically, from what I've noticed, like just from looking at the charts. So like for example, if we were to come up to this gap, we don't really care about the reaction off of this gap because price already had that reaction happen, which was here. If that makes sense. Come on, man, put the radio on. Let's do seconds on this candle. Let's see if we could inverse it with this candle. Looks like it's kind of reacting again. Okay. Yeah, again, we just have to close above here. We're gonna get in here. So yeah, this is the only trade that I'm gonna take for today. Let's set the record straight on that. Only trade that I'm taking is this one. So entries were like right here, and then stop loss are gonna be here, right below these lows. Look, if we take the L, we take the L. Like I don't, I'm tired of taking 10,000 trades and. Hang on, I'm setting my stuff up here. Okay. Again, I don't care if it hits my stop loss. I will call it a day. I'm just taking one trade a day. I have to remind myself of this, okay? So if I repeat it throughout this whole video, that's yeah. It's because I'm known to not follow that rule, so I know myself enough to say, hey, I gotta remind myself of this, you know? But yeah, we we came down, took all that liquidity. We also made a gap here, and we inversed it. So our entries are just here, and then I think our stops are like somewhere here. If we lose, it's okay. We just have to move on to the next day. That's it. I think I have to like switch my mindset, because I heard this from someone. It was I don't know if you guys know Domvo, but he's a trader. You know, he did do like this scammy thing, but he did teach me a lot about mindset. And like the mindset should be like, you don't based off your days off of trades. Like you don't say, okay, it's a W day based off of like a winning trade. You base it off of whether you follow your strategy or not, right? So like, even if I take this L, and like it's a good way to kind of like brainwash yourself to like, actually follow the strategy. But yeah, even if I take this L and I call it a day, that's a W day because I follow my strategy. I waited for my confirmations. It like basically the whole point being like, okay, if you follow your strategy, no matter whether it's a win or an L, it's a W day as long as you follow this strategy. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole idea behind it. And like I have to agree with that. Like that's just that makes sense to me, bro. Like that has to be my mindset switch. Like I should be basing off my days not based on whether I take a W or an L on the actual trade, but just based off of if I actually follow the strategy or not. If I do follow the strategy, W day. Even if I take a W and I don't follow a strategy, that's an L day. You know what I mean? I think that's if something I learned from that guy, even though he did like some scammy stuff, it was that like he did teach a lot about mindset, and that was his mindset coming in like to the markets, So yeah, now it's just kind of a waiting game. So my TPs are up here. I could potentially squeeze them up to here, but I don't really want to. I think this is more than enough for me for today if it does hit there. So yeah, I mean that if that does hit, it gives us a nice 3.4 to 1. So 3.4 is the reward, which is very nice. Because like if price does come up, like I don't think price would want to take these highs. I think price wants to take some of the highs up here that haven't been touched. Like we technically grabbed liquidity on all these highs from here, and then we dropped, right? Again, it doesn't matter if you get stopped out, just call it a day. As long as you call it a day, is a W day. I just have to like constantly remind myself about that, you know? Because I know myself, man. I have to be okay with being in this situation, you know? I think that's something that I've struggled with. I think like that's probably the biggest thing that I've struggled with, actually. I get very emotional when I would lose or be in drawdown or whatever. Like, and I think like against doing that little mindset switch of like, hey, as long as you follow the strategy, that's all that matters. Because if you follow the strategy, even if you take an L, you still took a W because you were disciplined to your strategy. I think that like that kind of takes away all the sort of anxiety that you get from being in like drawdown or taking the L or whatever. What I've noticed though with indices, like maybe this doesn't work in forex, like you know forex pairs, but I've noticed that with indices, like it doesn't like trend doesn't really matter that much with indices. Like it's more of like where is the volume? You know what I'm saying? Like where is the volume going? Yeah, we're probably gonna sit here until like 10:30, and then if like realistically nothing has happened, I'll probably just let the trade play out and just go do my thing, you know? Because I hate just sitting here. Because like all this does, bro, like just me looking here is like all it does is because like at the end of the day, I already set my stop loss, I already set my TP, right? There's really nothing that can change that unless like, you know, if like let's say price decides to come up here and I've been in profit for a while, then maybe I'll move my stuff to break even, right? But besides that, like I already set my trade. It's already a W day, bro. Like you follow your strategy, doesn't matter if you take the L. I think like something I have to get my mind through is like, okay, L's are gonna happen, and they're probably gonna happen more often than W's at the end of the day. But your strategy allows that to happen because your risk to reward makes sense, you know. Close to hitting our stops. Let's see what happens here. So that was a random push. I think right now all we need for price to do for us to see a small drive, just break above these highs. I think breaking above these highs should give us a little bit of a drive up. But yeah, man, like I have to be okay. I have to be completely okay with the fact that I'm gonna take L's, and like that's part of the game. I think that's really the biggest difference between like a profitable trader and a not profitable trader is like profitable trader probably take those L's and is okay with those L's. Like he accepts them. Whereas the non profitable trader, which is me, I take those L's, but I don't accept them. I kind of like, typically I would try to like make it back, by either forcing a trade or whatever. We're close to hitting. We're like pretty much halfway, about to hit our stops. This is the true test, bro, for the trade. Like being in situations like this is the real test, bro. Because being here is definitely not a comfortable feeling, you know. It's definitely not a comfortable feeling. But you just have to be like, again, you just have to be okay with it. Oh my god. Well, I wish I would have taken as many trades as I did the past couple of days. But, you know, I wish I would have could, alright? It is what it is at this point. So there's a new 5 incoming. New 5-minute candle. I'm assuming it's probably gonna be cooked if we break these lows. If we could instantly come up and break these highs, that would be pretty good for us. At that point, there's no reason for the next candle to come down and break these lows. So yeah, I'm looking for price to ideally break this high and then break this high above here. Because once we break this, we should see a nice drive. Once we break this, it should be harder for price to, you know, come down and break the lows and keep driving down if we break this with this candle. There's 10 seconds left, which looks like it's not going to happen. Okay, so we broke that high, which is good. That's not horrible. It's a good thing. Now we just need to break this high. Yeah, I mean, if it breaks these lows, I'm probably gonna drive down to my stop loss, very likely. It feels like, even though I'm in this drawdown, I'm you know, very high likelihood I lose this trade. It does feel good to like actually follow the strategy and do things properly, bro. Like, it feels really good. Like, the feeling that I'm getting right now is like, I don't really care if I lose. And like, I've never felt like that. I don't know if I'm like coping or something, but that's how I feel right now. So, which is interesting. Like, I never felt like that prior to today. Yeah, we've been in drawdown for a while, boys. If we get inverses gap, that'd be pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of liberating to like having that mindset of like, okay, you follow your strategy, that's a W. It's pretty liberating. Like, it feels good. It feels good. Like how it should be, you should come into the markets with like a check mark of or like a list of things that you gotta do. And then it's like you check mark, boom, 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 boom. If you check mark everything that you have to do, boom, that's a dub. Like whether the trade plays out or not. Yeah, this gap is pretty important. With deciding like whether we're gonna win or lose this trade. I think if we inverse it, we should see a nice drive up to the nice drive to the upside. Or at least it should be harder for price to come down technically, right? Technically, again, price could do whatever it wants to do. Price is kind of like price is its own boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really care about your technical analysis. Like technicals does help, obviously, but there's times where it just doesn't care. But yeah, at least we inverse that gap, which is that's a good sign. That's a good sign. But again, for all I know, it could just drive all the way down now. So okay, we probably looks like it's just driving, like I mentioned. Like price doesn't care about technicals sometimes, But again, we did everything, so you could hit my stop loss. I don't care. I don't care. Do you understand? This is an E5, right? Oh no, it's an E5. Wait, I'm tripping. It's 1018. I bet. Wait, so how is this 5 looking like? Okay, looking pretty cooked. Bro, this is I love this. This is a true test to my well-being, bro. Like, cause bro, unironically, like, it is kind of stressful. Like, trading is pretty stressful. Just cause like cause you see the potential that it has. You know what I mean? But then like making it work so that potential comes true is tough. It's not an easy task, to say the least. I wonder if I would have gotten in on this and I would have put my stops there. I think like putting it on the low, like the lowest low, is probably the best play. Here's a new 5 minute. Look at this hourly, man. It's just kind of chilling. This is the flip here. Well, it's break of its own highs at that point. Come on. Drive! Sorry. Drive up! Drive up! Go! 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 Damn, it gave us relatively equal. Oh no, never mind. It did break the high, but didn't push. Go, 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 go. Bro, this is probably the craziest trade I've ever taken. Like, in the sense, like, we've been in drawdown for the past 32 minutes, brother. Hello? Like, give your boy a chance, dog. Damn. 30 minutes in draw. Like, give me a break, big dog. I've never been in drawdown for this long. Never, ever, ever, ever. I guess it's a good thing, because, like, in a sense, we made the right decision on the stop loss, right? But at the same time, it's like so stressful being here in a situation like this. But again, new mindset, boys. New mindset. All right, someone call me. New mindset. I don't care if I take the W or an L. I care whether I follow my strategy or not. If I follow my strategy, it's the W day. All right? It's not cope. It's a real mindset. It's a real mindset that I have. If I follow my strategy, it's a W day. No matter whether I take the L or a W. If I follow my strategy, it's a W. That's it. Boys. New 5 minute. We broke above this. Okay, that's kind of a good thing. Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. We broke above this little range. So we have a 5 minute break of structure. We inverse the gap. Like, what more do we want? You know, life is good, man. Because even if I take this L, I'm okay with it. It's about to be 10:30. I might have to just let it go. I might have to just let it go and let it happen. I still can't believe. Man, this is 34 minutes in drawdown, boys. This is just price edging me here. Holy crap. I think eventually eventually once we break out of this little range that we're in, it will go up. We just have to pretty much just pray that it doesn't hit our stop loss, but again, it's okay if it does. Because I did everything from, like, for my part, everything that I have like everything that's in my control, I already did everything proper. So man, I swear if this candle just goes up now, like, this is crazy. Don't get me wrong, I would like for it to go up, you know. But dude, this is insane. See, old me, boys, old me would have gotten it again here, and then put my stops like below here, or maybe even below here, and I would have gotten stopped out. I would want to say I would put him here, but in the moment I don't know what I would actually do. So that's a pretty big candle. It's a pretty nice and long big candle. Pause. Can we diddy our way out of this one? That's the real question. If you guys haven't heard about the Diddy strategy, it's basically a one big candle that pushes up. Actually, no, that's the Draco. The Drake strategy. You know, and what's crazy is, like, doing other things while I'm in a trade, it never truly feels like I'm actually focusing on that other thing that I'm doing. You know, I'm always kind of in the back of my head thinking, you know, I'm thinking about the trade. You know what I mean? I'm always kind of thinking about the trade in the back of my head, like, truthfully. Which kind of sucks. Like, I wish it wasn't like that, you know? I wish I could just kind of let it go. I think I'm getting there, though. Like, prior to today, I would probably be stressing a lot during this drawdown. I don't care anymore. I think I've been through it all now. I just don't care. And, like, I think for real, like, having that mindset switch has, like, it's gonna help me a lot. I think if you guys are going through the same issue where, like, you're getting anxiety or, like, stressed during the trade, don't base off your day success off of a winning trade or a losing trade. Base it off of whether you follow the strategy or not. That's it. That actually has helped me a ton. I'm not gonna lie. Wait, we might just come up in profit, boys. Don't do that to me. Oh my god. This is crazy. Crazy, man. Did we even break the highs? We didn't. Right? Relatively equal highs. Yeah, we didn't. Oh, we came down and broke the lows? Really? Let's see, this next 1 minute, I think it's pretty important. Whether we're gonna play out or not on this. Yeah, if we break the lows, it's very likely gonna keep driving down. Okay, yeah, it's probably gonna stop us out now. I mean, we lasted, bro. We lasted a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I don't know at this point. Like, I don't know. This is pretty insane, though. I've never actually experienced this. Like, this is extremely shoppy. Like, for you know what I'm saying? Like, damn. So now we're making this other FPG here. Yeah, I said I would leave at 10:30, but I mean, we're about to get stopped out. I might as well just stay, I think. Okay, there. Okay, we got stopped out. Okay. It's completely okay. We're down. Yeah, it's just 1%. All right, perfect. So, dude, we lasted so long, though, in the trade. This is crazy. This is probably going to play out eventually, like, or either that or we were just completely wrong about today. Bro, 40 minutes in drawdown. You know how crazy that is, bro? Like, not even like a slither of profit. I mean, I guess here, but Jesus. This might have easily been a liquidity grab to then actually go up now. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a day there. You know, even though, oof, dude, we're about to lose a 100K account. We're down quite a bit. We're down 7%. Nah. Yeah, like, yeah, we're down quite a bit on the 100K, which is not a good sign. I want to say, oh, bro, it's look at it, bro. Look at it go. Look at it. I'm gonna call it a day. I don't care. But this is so tempting. So tempting. If we break above here. But yeah, on my 100K, I'm at 93,500. So like, I literally only have 3% to play with. Dude, look at it go now, man. That is cooked, my friends. Cooked. I would have probably gotten in here. Boom, boom. Anyways, it's okay. Look, if it plays out, it plays out. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow is actually Thursday? Oh, today is Thursday. Jesus, okay. So tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is Friday. And yeah, we're just, you know, I think we had the right idea. I think in general, like, we had the right idea because we knew price was grabbing liquidity down here. So we're expecting in the next few hours for price to eventually come back up to probably one of these areas up here. But yeah, it sucks, but we followed the strategy. We did everything, like, we did everything as planned. basically. Like today, my plan was like, wait for price or see where price grab liquidity. Based upon that, look for buys or sells. Right. In this case, we were looking for buys. We wait for price to make a gap. We wait for price to then inverse that gap. So then once we inverse it, we then look for a buy on the inverse of the gap, and then we just put our stops below the lows, and that's it. See? Old me, okay? Look at this. Old me would have gotten in on this. Right here. This is like life. Basically, God is saying, look, you would have gotten in on this, you would have taken another L. Or at least very likely it's another L. So, yeah, that's why you just take one trade a day, my friends. And that's a lesson that I learned the hard way. Because we're about to lose our trading, our funded accounts. Honestly, like, I don't care if we lose my 10K is really the most important. My 10K, I'm at 9,400. Actually, though, oh boys, wait, hang on, let me check something. Oh god, so I think, yeah, we probably have like 2 more trades in us. Kind of sucks that I learned this now, but or like at least I'm switching to. Okay, yeah, so boys, literally I have probably 2 more trades in me, which is crazy to say. It sucks. We've learned a lot though, man. Yeah, literally 2 trades. Just 2 trades in me. 2 freaking trades. So yeah, dude, literally tomorrow is gonna be. Hopefully there's no news. Let's check. Yeah. Okay, perfect. There's 10 a.m., but that doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, I guess we were probably wrong about the direction. I think this could still play out though, in the next upcoming hours. But I wouldn't mind. Like, I think what's gonna suck is losing my funded account, because like, that sucks obviously because it's a funded account. But yeah, we have 2 more trades in us basically. I'm still gonna be risking my same 1%. So yeah, just 2 more trades. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Today was a good day in general. Like, the reason why I'm in this situation is because the past, like prior to today, really, today's Thursday, so the past 3 days basically, I've completely broken my rules. I was extremely emotional. Was taking more than 1 trade a day, and I was also over leveraging. I was taking retarded trades basically, which are again all signs of a non-profitable trader. So that's the reason why I'm in this situation, right? I switched my mindset now. Is it too late? I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode. But yeah, anyways guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed it goes well. Peace.